Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So we're back on our storage building project prep, and we got here this morning, and unfortunately we got a small problem. It was a small problem when we left last night, and it's become a big problem this morning. So I gotta get the 220 down off this pile because I'm gonna need it to try to fix this problem. So let's get down off here. We'll go see if we can fix the issue we got going on. That there was a piece of the concrete wire that was in this crushed concrete sticking out of the steer tire on the dump truck. So luckily these steer tires are not new, but they weren't to the point where they need replaced. But this one is now, because I'm not going to run a steer tire with a plug in it on the road. So what we're going to do is we are going to get the tire put back on, because the tire popped off the rim last night. And I didn't bring a jack this morning. Should have brought my airbag jack to lift the truck up, because I really didn't think the tire was going to come off the rim like it did. Oh, but it did. And lift the truck. Well, I got into position. We picked the truck up off the ground, and we're trying to get that tire back on the rim. Alright, so this is what is stuck in our tires, so Dad's gonna go ahead and pull that out, maybe. Oh, it's in there pretty deep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that tire's gonna be junk. Ready?
Yep. If one plug will hold it.
It should.
Temporary job fix.
Yeah, temporary. That gets us through the rest of the project. We'll have Schaffner's come put 2 new steer tires on it. Well, we got that tire fixed. We're going to start spreading out some more stone between the buildings. I got them cut in with the dozer. We found that it works best not to completely fill the truck bed with the tubes. I kind of spread some out, and then I just put a pile in there. Just like so. And also I got to dig this pile back so that we can do another cut here to get our grade for the water to run off. So until I get this cut back, I can't do any more work with the HD100 Hyundai dozer. get this dug back, then we'll get back in the dozer and we'll get this cut out. Spread out a little bit in there, and then they tend to come out more evenly. There we go. Dad can go spread that out where George is at with the Bobcat. And can't really tell on camera, but it goes from over there to over there. It tapers off about 5 inches. And the idea is the water will run from over there around, and it'll go out somewhere behind the roller and between the HD 100 there, and then there'll be a retention pond back here eventually when we're all done. So all that water between all these buildings has to flow that away and down and around, and then there'll be another building right there, and then there'll be a building back there that has to be prepared yet. But the goal was to get these first 3 done so they can start pouring concrete. Well, my pile is dwindling quick. But it's going where it needs to go. We've moved a lot of stone this morning. Say there was only like 450 ton in this pile when we started. So that's only part of the project. So there's going to be a lot more to be hauled in. To finish up what we're doing. We'll roll that and we'll get some 53s going, get that covered, and then they'll be able to drive and we won't have to worry about it raining, be able to get the concrete trucks around them pads, because that's kind of what we were worried about. We thought, well, maybe we'll just go spray and put some anhydrous on for the next couple days, let them get pouring, but if it rains and this clay gets wet, it might end up nasty. So, better be safe than sorry. Getting these twos packed in real good and tight. I think it's looking really good. It's gonna look really good when you get to 53s over it. This is as far as we're gonna go with stone for now. Over here. Pad here. George is finishing up the end down there for me. Once he's done with that, I can compact all that. Yeah, there's definitely not much left of that 2's pile. That 53's pile is going to go quick too. Bring the 53s right up to it. Kind of feather it up to it real nice. Alright, I'm going to finish rolling. And we'll get some 53s going on. We're going to start covering these 2's with some 53s now. We're going to cover across this end and then we're done for the day. We're going to go spray some beans. That came out just right. I loaded him just enough. Get him another load here. Get the drier stuff around the sides of the pile. Seems like it tailgates a lot easier the drier the material. Now they are eventually going to put some white limestone over this. Freshen it up and make it look pretty. If knock my pile down some. I got a little bit of weeds in there. That's all right. We'll pick them out. Get another bucket of dry stuff here. Yeah, there's some weeds right along this edge down here. Move this pile around and fluff it up a little bit. That'll also help it dry. Give me a ramp to get back down. Let's see how this one comes out. Adjust the camera here a little bit. Got a little crooked. At least there's no overhead obstacles on this project. Oh, front end come up a little bit. Pile might have slid back a little too quick. Very nice. Another good one. Alright, so we got all that stone moved back and out of our way. Now I'm going to take the HD100 Hyundai dozer. I'm going to go ahead and cut this alleyway down. This is in front of the first storage building. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down. This has to slope this direction. So we're going to go from nothing to 5 inches at this end. There's going to be 5 inches of slope. So that'll get that water heading this way real nicely. And then what we'll do is we'll bring some 2s back in, put the 2s down, and then we'll do the 53s on top, just like we've done the other ones through here. We got to roll these yet, or just got to finish up a little more grade work, and then we can get those rolled. And then they're going to start getting some forms put on these pads and getting some concrete poured probably next week. I think they're going to form them up over the weekend, and then they'll start pouring. we're getting there. It's just this ground is so hard, it's like concrete out here. So I got to go back through and scrape that. I'm within 1.5 inches throughout, so pretty close. Just didn't want to get too crazy until I checked it with the laser. But it's just so hard that it peels. So sometimes it wants to suck the blade down, and that makes it hard on any dozer, really. I got that all dozed out, looks really good. We're gonna start putting some twos on it.